Guys, welcome back to the channel. We are back on this 1986 K3500 12 valve swap, taking just the world's best chassis, world's best power plant, and the world's best transmission MV4500, sticking it in this for the Dawn. Today we're working on all the retrofit parts. Where'd you get these from, Donald? What website?
Rob Bonney Fabrication.
Rob Bonney Fabrication. Would you recommend them?
Eggen Fabworks.
I got an Eggen Fabworks. Kind of got a shoulder shrug. Eggen, real good. But anyway, we're trying to find some pictures and stuff. I went last night and I grabbed our quad cab. I don't want to give too much away, so just know, if you know, you know, the quad cab is back. But we about died last night. I'm gonna put up this video footage that Dave had. Of my Ford almost, or not my Ford, a rental Ford almost sliding down the hill. It was, thank goodness Dave was still here at 2 in the morning. It took my Duramax. It took unloading the truck. It was a nightmare. West Virginia, I feel bad for y'all. You guys really need some help in your public works department. Y'all cannot clear a road to save your life. But Dave's working on his, what are we gonna call this? The 590 Pro Street, the 599999999 truck. So he's working on that. It's going to Maverick to get finished up here in a little bit. Donald's working on this. We're getting pictures, but everyone wanted a little, we'll mix in a little race truck stuff. He's bending his lines right now, switched him over to the 6.7, got his radiator changed over to the -20 AN. I did one of his intercooler pipes, really haven't had time to do the other one, and he's just been running lines and plumbing, been sanding on the fiberglass. We got a battery in here, battery cables, plumbed all that. We welded some nice tabs on his back half for hose and line securement. Looked pretty good. He's just been chipping away. Big shout out to the guys over at AirDog. We got a 5G 220 on here, and he got all this ready to be one-step painted and then wrapped. I'll leave the reveal for once it gets wrapped on what color he went with, but it should be pretty cool. And bending lines, Dave, your favorite activity?
I hate it.
Yeah, they're pretty tough. They ain't no 12 valve lines, that's for sure. So anyway, back to this project. So far we've had to remove the second battery tray, the overflow bottle here, and we're just kind of playing it by ear. We're looking at pictures. Donald got the cross member clearance for our damper and then started test fitting some motor mounts. So that's where we're at. Once we pick up the camera, we'll kind of keep you guys coming along. we have been grinding for a little while now, cutting, grinding, shout out. I have the center line of this truck marked, and lo and behold, guys, I went corner to corner, corner to corner. This truly is a square body. She was not even off maybe a 1/16 of an inch. So we got this piece kind of set in here. My whole theory was cut small, miss small. So that was kind of what we were doing. I knew that it had to at least be so wide. And then my thought process was get this slid up and then trace it. So that way we have a lot less welding to do. And I think the fit and finish will be really, really nice. This piece is designed to use your subframe bolt that goes through here, through this bracket. So that'll kind of bolt it in, and then I will burn it in with a welder as well. That way, this really acts as a structure piece for the front end. In the event that Donald ever does get into a front end collision, we want to make sure he's nice and safe. So obviously it's not going to fit perfect yet. I still got to knock the ears out for the intercooler. But this is kind of where we're at. I just want to show you a little progress. Donald's going to start flap wheeling some of this off. We're getting hung up just on the remaining stubs. Once we get it kind of pressed up into the truck, I'll take a marker, trace the outline of this, and then we'll do the finish work with a, oh geez, I can't think, flap wheel. That way it's just a nice finish. And then we'll get this welded in. This mounts your intercooler and your radiator. And then there's a new section that comes with this for the hood support, because when you slam the hood, like right now, if I stepped on this, it would probably bend in. We got rid of all that support. This was kind of a miscue on my part, but we just made it look even on both sides. So I'll probably tack weld all these body brackets back together, like just lay a bead across there. So again, you know, got a little too carried away. It happens, and that's why I like to slowly cut away at it and hopefully avoid any more mistakes. Okay, so you guys kind of get the gist now. We got all this knocked so we could lay it up, and then I just traced it out. We're going to cut on the inboard side of this line here, and that will allow us to slowly work up. We missed in this corner a little bit. We'll have to weld that up, but it's about a 1/4 inch off. It's not huge. And actually, the more I look at this, I might sawzall it just because it's so thin, but we'll play it by ear. It's going to kind of go right through there. And yeah, overall, I'd say this piece actually fits pretty nice. I like that it bolts through here. It kind of gives you like a good center point in a way to align it. But yeah, we're going to get to cutting this, and then once we get it like fully fitted, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So we have the final fit and finish. Could have been better, could have been a lot worse in my opinion. I got the powder coat grounded off of where we're gonna weld. We're gonna get this mocked up. I'll show you guys where it's mocked up at, and then we're gonna get this thing welded in and get our intercooler and radiator. This is really the big hurdle, huh, Donald? That and a transmission cross member.
Yep.
So again, we had a lot of customers picking up again on a Saturday. Dave's working on it, so my time, poor Donald just gets the rough end of the stick. I get free lunch, and he gets about an hour of my time. And just, would you look at that fitment, guys? Pretty good. I'm tickled with it. Got a little carried away over there. This actually will flip back down like that. But all in all, not a bad piece. Fits pretty well. We're gonna get this set in here and get you guys set up on a little welding time lapse with the old MiG 9000. Here's our rough fitment of the intercooler. We had to lop the ears off, which again, some instructions would have been nice, but you know what? we'll deal with it. Then we have these radiator brackets that I also need to weld in. And then up here, we got to ream these holes out and weld in some inserts to bolt it. But all in all, I mean, the fitment, very nice. The radiator, grab this, Donald. The only thing I'm not a fan of is they don't send you any provisions for this intercooler. So my thought process, we'll take a piece of flat stock, bend it, and weld it down, and then run a bolt through here just to kind of keep it from being able to vibrate. Other than that, though, I mean, not bad. I got some more grinding to do here on these brackets, and then should be good. I think what we'll do as far as the radiator mounts go is grind them off and then just tack them in, pull the radiator out, or pull the intercooler out, excuse me, and then fully burn those in, and then burn this whole bracket in, and I think we'll make some progress here. Okay, so we got it all set up. We got our lower radiator mounts tacked in. We have our intercooler mount tacked in. Everything nice and square. Here's kind of some of the fit up. Like I said, we could have done better, but really that's not bad at all. We're just gonna tack it in a few spots. The big thing is I just didn't want a bunch of light gaps, but as you guys can see, this flap actually flips. Anyway, that rotates down, but not bad. Leaves a lot of room for activities. I'm gonna go ahead and get all of this burned in now. Hopefully add some more support, get our radiator mounts welded in, and see what else the night gives us. Now we got this all burnt in here. A lot of fire from powder coat and oil, so not the best welds, but it'll hold. And now we're just letting that primer set up. We got, like I said, the temporary motor mounts just set in there. They're loose. We're working on getting the motor mounts put together on the driver and passenger side. These are the parts that bolt to the block, and then there's a bushing that squeezes through that tube with a steel insert over here. Trying to find the lube right now for it, or else those get pretty squeaky without it. And then I think we'll try to put the transmission on this thing, and that's, I guess we'll try to drop it in all at once. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but I do remember the problem being if you don't, what happens is you can't get to the top bell housing bolts, if my memory serves me correctly. So we could be a little off, could be right on the money. And then we did finally get all of our fittings from all the snow we've been getting. We did get our crankcase breather. The big thing on these 12 valves, when you do the crankcase breather, you want them to go up as quickly as possible, up and then down. That stops the oil from being able to push out. A lot of guys I see just run them straight down. They 45 down, 90 down, straight out. It allows for a lot of oil to work its way out. If you 90 up, it starts to separate the oil from the vapor, and then the oil can't really make it all the way up this tube to push out on the ground. So it's kind of what we've figured out over the years. Guys, it is an exciting time here. We have the old 12V up on the chain. We're gonna try it without the trans, see what happens. We're about to take the tires off, and that is so this monster truck that Donald has brought is low enough that this engine crane will lift it up and over into the front. These old square bodies, I'm sure there's a way to take the front end off, but I was not interested in doing that. So we have it ready to go. We'll take tires off, set her down, drop her in. These motor mounts are slotted to allow some forward and back. So I just got the bolts started, and we'll kind of find a good home for this. I think the big problem is the fan hitting the radiator. So we don't want to have that happen. So I'm assuming we'll probably slide it back, but until it's in here, we're just guessing. So we also have his fuel lines here. This is the supply. This is the return. We're gonna leave them here for right now until we figure out where everything's gonna land, and then we'll probably end up cutting the fuel lines back. If they run on the passenger side, that's fine. We'll just jog them over probably the transmission, and that's where she's sitting. We're gonna get it all set up, and then we will drop her in. We also got the turbo drain going on, and here she is. Take a moment to really take it all in. We got one last thing. We're gonna get the cross member mount. We almost forgot, and we had it jacked up maybe a foot, and we were like, oh, this cross member's got to come out. So Don's gonna break the rivets and get this pulled out, and then we should have the motor set in here. The cross member pulled out, 2 rivets you grind flat, air hammer out, and then it bolts in. According to the instructions, you're gonna set the motor in without the cross member. And then what Don and I have decided, we're gonna leave all the motor mount stuff loose. Slide the motor as far forward. If you guys look, these are slotted. We're gonna slide the motor forward, put the trans in. Once the trans is in, we'll slide it back to give us more room for the mechanical fan. So that's kind of the thought process here. I'll update you guys if it's wrong, but we should be able to actually set this old girl in here. 12 valve in the frame rails of this truck. Motor mounts didn't fight us too bad. Leaving everything loose, I feel like helps you, but also hurts you. So like a tapered punch works really good for aligning it. And she sits in the frame rails. Got a couple of more parts of the cross member. We just got to kind of kiss with a grinder so we could tilt it back. And I think we'll be able to get the transmission in with the engine in after looking at it. And that's probably going to be a wrap on this video. Although I'm sure in this 20-25 minute video, it won't look like we did a lot. Making sure that this fit and looked factory was very important to Donald and myself. So we took some more time there, not just jamming stuff in. You know, everything takes a little bit of time, but hopefully in our next video, we'll get the transmission in, the transmission cross member made, maybe even get it fired up. It might end up stretching into one more episode after that, but intercooler can go in, radiator can go in. I should really make sure the radiator actually fits in here now that I say that, but or intercooler rather. But all in all, not terrible. Again, a little bit more instructions on the intercooler holder would have been great. The other part of the swap with the cross member and the engine mounts and stuff, those instructions have actually been really awesome. So yeah, there she is. Donald, how do you feel?
No words.
No words?
No words.
How long have you wanted to do this?
Since 2017.
How many parts 12 valve trucks have you bought?
4.
And we made it happen. You even got the Banks Twin Ram 9000 on there.
Power adder.
And, you know, Trevor, if you're watching this from Stainless Diesel, the wastegate does not fit in this frame rail. We're going to wire this one shut. I would void his warranty instantly. Okay, and just for kicks and giggles here, we went ahead and put the intercooler and radiator in, trying to get measurements if a mechanical fan will fit. I don't think it will, so we're going to get maybe some electrical ones. I told Donald to wait until we get the trans in so we can caulk the motor correctly. Everything's still loose, but it does fit. It's very tight, surprisingly tight. My only trick for you guys is when you go to install it, just turn the motor, go down diagonal, and then kick it over. You guys saw we had to take the damper off. I would still probably do that, but all in all, not too terrible. Not too terrible at all. Okay, sorry to leave you guys on a cliffhanger, but this is where we're gonna call it a night. Just had a real late night mixed with a long day of just making stuff fit. My patience is wearing very thin, so we're gonna call it here. Next time, transmission, cross member, maybe get some drive shafts, maybe make some headway there. I don't know if it'll fire up in the next video, but I would confidently say you guys probably got 2 more episodes left in this series till it's running. Once it's running, it will leave here. Donald's gonna finish like some of the fine wiring, stuff like that, and then hopefully he'll bring it back and we'll do a driving video for you guys, but we're not gonna completely finish it. It's race truck time, so we're going to get this as wrapped up as we can for him, send him on his way. Once he gets back, we'll do that last update video. Hopefully you guys like this one. Drop your comments down below, subscribe if you're not already, and as always, I'll catch y'all on the next one.